we will discuss classification of living world in diversity of living world in botany. So we had discussed this classification in zoology also. So why we should classify? To identify the species, closely related species in one part. To easy identification, to group the individual, we have to classify the living world. So what is the need for classification? So there are some of the rules to need for classification. So need of classification to relate things based on the common characteristic features. So what and all in common characteristics features? So think that is fruits. The fruits giving plants and all in one group. The beautiful flowers giving plants and all in one group. So like that they will divide and keep it, okay, based on the common characters. For example, shoe flower, hibiscus flower. When you see the leaf, it is shining. When you crush the leaves, it becomes conditioner. So the conditioner, the mucilage substance, the same mucilage substance is seen in the lady's finger. When you cut the lady's finger, it has some mucilage substance. So the two plants are in or belongs to the same family. So common characteristics are kept in a single group. Okay. To define organisms based on the salient features. So the special features, for example, we the human beings. So the human beings are kept in hominids family. So the what are the characteristics of the human beings? So erect posture, so straight posture, two eyes, and you can able to speak, and you can prepare your own food from other organisms like plants and other animals. You can take it and you can eat the food, that is by cooking. And you will do agriculture, you will do work for living a life. You need a house. So that is the salient features of a human being. And based on the human being, you have, while taking food, digestion takes place. The heartbeat is there, so circulation is taking place. Excretion, that is sweat and urine, it excrete the waste materials in the form of sweat, urine and carbon dioxide gas. Okay, and reproduction takes place. So these are the salient features of a human being. In plants, the plant will respire, so the plant respiration takes place. The plant prepare its own food, photosynthesis takes place. So based on the preparing food, the plants can be grouped in one group. So that they are the salient features. Helps in knowing the relationship among different groups of organisms. So the plants and human beings can be grouped one? So no. The human beings have different characters and plants have different characters. So we may know the difference between each and every organism which is placed in different groups based on the salient features. So it helps in understanding the evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So evolution means how it is evolved, how the life is evolved in the earth. So a single cell becomes multicellular. So like that, a single cell becomes multicellular. Like that, each and every organism is evolved from one organism. This we had seen in the evolutionary tree from that is fishes after amphibians, amphibians after reptiles after aves, aves after mammals. So like this the tree evolution. So from one organism to another organism it is evolved. So like the human beings are evolved from apes, that is chimpanzee. Okay. So it helps in understanding the evolutionary relationship between the organism. You had understand, no? So these are the members who had given the classification. The members who had given the system of various systems of classification. The first one is Carolus Linnaeus, who is the father of modern taxonomy. In 1735, he classified only two groups in the living organism. One is plants and another one is animals. So according to Linnaeus, only two groups are there. One is plants and one is animals. Okay. Next is Ernest Haeckel in 1863 has divided had divided into three groups: Protista, Plantae, Animalia. So Protista means the single cell organisms, maybe animal or that is plants. So maybe, but they are single cell. So the single cell are kept in Protista. Plants, we all know, higher plants which can able to prepare its own food. So the plants and animals which cannot able to prepare its own food, they have a separate nervous system, circulatory system, digestive system, reproductive system, excretory system. So based on that, he classified into three groups, that is Protista, Plantae and Animalia. And Copeland in 1956 divided into the four: Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia. So Monera is Monera. Mono means single. So single cell organisms, that is bacteria, virus, blue-green algae, they and all comes under the Monera. And Protista has eukaryotic single cell organism. True nucleus, they have true nucleus, but single cell organisms are kept in the Protista. Next, plants and animals, you know very well. Plants and animals. And the final man is R.H. Whittaker in 1969. He divided five kingdom of classification. It is the famous one. Whittaker has given this five kingdom classification: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. So we will discuss this five kingdom classification. So the first in Monera. So this one is the first type. In Monera, the cell type is prokaryotic. Pro means what? First formed cell. Karyos means nucleus. So first formed nucleus in the cell is called prokaryotes. Level of organization, single cell. Unicellular means single cell. Cell wall. Cell wall is present, and cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan and mucopeptide. This peptidoglycan cell wall is made in bacteria. Nutrition is autotrophic. So autotrophic means they can prepare its own food. Okay. Phototrophic, chemoautotrophic. These are the two types of nutrition we are going to see in the bacteria in the next chapter. Heterotrophic means depend on another organism for food. That is parasite and saprocyte. Parasite means create diseases and kills the host. Parasite. The host, it was killed by that is the parasite kills the host organism. Saprophyte means live on dead organic matter. So they eat the dead organic matter. So saprophytes there are when a person is died, what they do? They go and one way they will burn it, and in another way they will be buried. So in buried, how the body is disposing means that is the bacteria and fungi are doing this work. Okay, so they are destroying the dead organic matter using that is with the help of saprophytic bacteria. We will discuss in detail in bacteria. Motility. So motile means movement. So they can move from one place to another place through flagella, or absence of flagella they won't move, that is non-motility. Organisms: archaea, eubacteria, cyanobacter, actinomycetes and mycoplasma. So these are the organisms seen in Monera. Archaea, we have discussed this archaea bacteria in zoology, which live in extreme environmental conditions like weather, temperature, salt conditions, etc. Eukarya, true bacteria, that is E. coli like bacteria. Cyanobacteria is green blue-green algae. Nowadays it is called as blue-green bacteria. Actinomycetes, it is a type of fungi. We will discuss in fungi class. And mycoplasma, it is a combination of fungi and bacteria. That is, it is called mycoplasma. So next we move on to the protista. So in protista, the cell type is eukaryote, true nucleus. Level of organization is unicellular, single cell. Cell wall present, made up of cellulose, but in some it is absent. Nutrition, autotrophic means photosynthesis. Heterotrophic means the same, parasite, saprophyte, like that. Motility, motile or non-motile. So organisms seen as chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, amoeba, plasmodium, trypanosoma and paramecium. So these are the things, that is, these are the organisms comes under protista. There may be that is chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, these and all plants, that is unicellular organisms, algae and fungi, amoeba, plasmodium, that is trypanosoma and paramecium, these and all protozoans. So the next we move on to the fungi. So fungi cell type is eukaryotic. Level of organization is multicellular and unicellular, both. Multicellular type of fungi is also here. Multi means many cells. The fungi is made up of many cells. Or unicellular. So single cell fungal organism is also there. Cell wall is made up of cellulose or chitin. So chitin is the chief cell wall material. Okay. So it is made up of chitin. They may ask in 1 mark also. The cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. Mode of nutrition, heterotrophic, may be parasite or saprophyte. And motility, non-motile, because fungi belongs to the plant kingdom. So it is non-motile. It cannot move from one place to another place. And the organisms here is yeast. The yeast, it is used in bread making, that is in bakeries. Most of the bakeries they are using bread making, cake, puffs, not puffs, that is bun varieties, mushrooms and molds. Molds is nothing but a type of fungi. Next, the plantae. So plantae cell type is eukaryote, and here also multicellular and that is tissue and that is organ types are seen here. And cell wall is made up of cellulose. Nutrition is autotrophic through photosynthesis. Motility, no motility. Any plant can move from one place to another place? No. So, non-motility. The organism is algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms. These are the organisms seen in plants. And the last one comes is the animal kingdom. Eukaryotes. Cell type is eukaryotes. Levels of organization is tissue, organ and organ system. Cell wall absent. Mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. Holozoic. Holozoic means we are taking from the outside. So for example, the best example is we. What we do? We take the food. No, we take the food from outside and putting into the mouth. That process is called injection. So we are taking the food from outside and eating into the mouth, and we are engulfing it. So that process is called holozoic. Motility. We will move from one place to another place now. So we are motile. And the organisms are sponges, invertebrates and vertebrates. Invertebrates means invertebrates don't have backbone. Vertebrates having backbone. So this is the 5 kingdom classification, and each and every work you have done means you have merit and demerit. So you have advantage, you have a disadvantage. So based on that classification, this classification also have merits and demerits. We will see it first, the merits. Okay. So if a student get if a student write an exam in one paper, he got 100. In another paper, he is getting 50 or 60. So that is the 100 is the merit. And in another, that is a demerit. So where that boy is missing. So missing. That has to be corrected by the teacher. Okay. So merits. The classification based on the complexity of the cell structure and organization of the thallus, that is cell type, level of organization only they have classified this classification. It is based on nutrition. Yes, nutrition also, that is autotrophic, heterotrophic, like that only they had divided. So based on nutrition also. So they separate plants, that is they separate plants and fungi. So separation of fungi from plants. Why they separate means fungi is a heterotrophic, depend on another organism for food. But plants are autotrophic. So they prepare its own food. Based on that, they divide the plants and fungi. And it shows the phylogeny of the organisms. Yes, you can see the phylogeny starting from Monera. So the first one is Monera, single cell. That is, it has single cell of organisms. The second one is Protista, that is eukaryotic type. Next fungi, next plantae, next animalia, that is eukaryotic, unicellular, next multicellular, next tissue and organ system, like that it comes. Okay. So based on the evolutionary, that is phylogenic relationship also they had classified. So this is the merit. So first merit is structure, cell structure and organization they had divided, and mode of nutrition, and separation of fungi from plants, and phylogeny of the organisms. Demerits. So kingdom Monera and Protista, that is Monera and Protista more or less same, but they have autotrophic and heterotrophic. Both are having heterotrophic, both type of nutrition is there. Some may lack cell wall. So some may have cell wall and some may not have cell wall. So these two groups, that is these two groups are heterogeneous in function. So heterogeneous means different in their function. So but they have been given first and second place. So first and second place. So there is a problem in keeping the Monera and Protista side by side. So you can see the cell type, prokaryote, eukaryote, but level of organization is unicellular, and some may have that is a cell wall and some may not have cell wall, and the mode of nutrition is also more or less same. But why they have kept it in a different groups? They can group it into one group, no. So that is a demerit. And here they doesn't include the viruses. The viruses is not included in this system. That is also one of the drawback of this system. So the red tide is caused by a toxic bloom of dinoflagellate like Gymnodium brave and Gonoialus tamarensis. So a major red tide, that is red tide incident in west coast of Florida in the year 1982 killed hundreds and thousands of fishes. So the red tide had happened, and this is an example for the dinoflagellates where it comes in the Protista. So a red tide, due to this most of them fishes had been destroyed. So it affects the aquatic ecosystem. Okay, so this is you must know the dinoflagellates, what they do. It is harmful, that is they are kept in the red tide, that is Protista. Okay, so they had given this for your extra information. And you have seen these three domains of classification in zoology. So Carl Woolf and co-workers introduced the three domains of life: bacteria, archaea, eukarya, and you have discussed it in zoology. So if you want to know the three domains, you have the three domains video and you can watch it. I will give the link to watch the video if you want to watch it. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any doubts, post your doubts in the comment box. If you like it, give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel.